It's time for behind the scenes, and what better type of content to go over for behind the scenes than the equipment that I use that nobody's gonna understand because nobody ever buys this shit. Fucking wonderful. Jamie, I'm making this video basically just for you, so hey, pay attention, bud. You guys pay for the behind the scenes, so fuck it. I'm gonna go over the nitty gritty equipment shit. I'm gonna go over why I like it, you know, all the little details that influence my decision making to purchase these things, and how I use them. You know, it's just, you know, it's the nitty gritty boring shit. I think the best way to start talking about equipment and stuff like that is to start with the microphone, since that is basically the most important part of any Let's Player or content creator that does my kind of work. This is the microphone you are currently hearing. It is an MXL 990. It is a condenser microphone, and while I don't understand completely what that means, I do know that it is very directional. You basically need to talk directly into the front of the microphone, otherwise it's not going to hear you completely. Good for live streaming, solo casting, stuff like that. Not very good for picking up an entire room's worth of people. And since I do most of my streaming, recording, and whatever by myself, you know, it's a good microphone for me. But here's the important thing to remember about the MXL 990. It is an XLR microphone. So if you're just starting out making YouTube videos or making content at all, you've probably started with a USB microphone, like a Blue Snowball or, God forbid, a Blue Yeti. They're good at what they do, they're very good for people who are just starting off, and honestly, if you don't quite know if you like doing this kind of technical video work, I would honestly recommend a USB microphone. Just, it gives you an idea of what to look forward to. But if you're running with an XLR microphone, you gotta run with this bad boy, with this fucking connector. And I mean, like, you're not really gonna find this on any Asus motherboard, you know what I mean? And that's why you need to plug this microphone into an interface. The interface that I use is the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. It's got 2 inputs and 1 audio out, and I'll go into why that's important later. Basically, it's just really nice. Focusrite is good at what they do, they make good equipment, they've been doing it for a long time, and that thing has 2 microphone inputs, so if I wanted to have a second microphone plugged in, I could. Now, what I think is a very important part of video making is sound. And going off of the whole microphone audio sound thing, let's start talking about some headphones, eh? So this bad boy is the Corsair Void gaming headset. This is what I got when I wanted to upgrade my audio setup. Now, I was kind of stupid when I bought this because it's a gaming headset, and I frankly knew nothing about headphone balancing and sound staging and the difference between open back and closed back, which I'll go over briefly in this video, but you know, I just didn't know any of that. Not to get too technical, but the reason why these headphones aren't really cut out for doing content creation is because they're not balanced. But what does balancing mean? Well, let's look back on my shit guide to audio engineering that I did last video. In that video, I went over the equalizer and what all those different points on the equalizer meant. Well, for headphones, it's kind of the same thing, but what you want if you're going for content creation is you want the line on the equalizer to be completely flat. You want to be able to hear a balanced set of all the different portions of sound. You don't want your headphones to have too much bass or too much high end because you want to make sure that the sound you're sending out to people is exactly what they're going to hear on their equipment. Now, obviously, people have different bits of equipment and they're not going to have the same exact headphones or same exact speakers as you, but making sure that everything's balanced on your end is the best way to ensure that everyone gets the same experience all across, no matter what piece of equipment they have for listening to your videos. So I wanted to upgrade my audio setup, so I went out and I purchased these guys, the Grado SR60Es. Now, I was recommended these headphones by a YouTuber that basically taught me everything I know about headphones. So if you want to go more in depth and you want to hear more about this kind of thing, go ahead and just follow DankPods. I mean, he's the reason why I bought these headphones and the reason why I got the other pair of headphones I'll talk about later in this video. Now these Grados, they're very nice. I really, really like them. Ignore this little fucking scuffed top bit. I'm pretty sure I was just wearing these wrong, so kind of ruined them, but whatever. They're really nice headphones, but balanced they are not. I'll show the whole audio readout here on screen now, and look at that, the Grados have a lot of top end. I think they work really nice, and I think they sound beautiful, but they're not really good for content creation. I mean, shit, if you just want a really nice pair of headphones for relatively cheap, and for headphones that are handmade in New York City, that good old-fashioned local economy shit, and you don't want to buy shit that's just made in China and kind of just, cheap and not really all that good, buy Grados. They just came out with their X line of headphones. That's basically their 4th generation of headphones, and I actually really want a pair of them because they look fucking amazing. But the last important thing I have to go over for the Grados is that these guys are what's known as an open back pair of headphones. Well, what does that mean? So if I look at my Corsair Void headphones, you can see that this side right here, completely closed. No audio is gonna come out of this side of the headphone. It's only gonna come out of this side, That's what a closed back set of headphones means. An open back pair of headphones would be something like the Grados, where you can really just see inside the headphone and shine a flashlight through them, and you would be able to see the light shine out on the other end. They're that open. You might be thinking, well, why do you want that in a pair of headphones? And the reason why you'd want that is for something called the sound stage. These guys may let all the noise out, but they also let all the noise in. So you get a much wider sense of sound when you're listening to music or movies or whatever. The problem with that is that if you're listening to music and you got someone next to you, they're gonna be able to hear pretty much everything you're listening to. And that is called noise bleed. It's just the main trait of open backs. You get better soundstage, but you also get heaps of noise bleed. So if you're sitting down in a quiet room and you're just chilling, listening to music or whatever, then shit, these Grados are perfect for you. But like I said, they're not made for content creation. So what headphones do I have for content creation? I have these guys, my Sennheiser 58Xs. These guys, this pair of headphones, they are glorious. They're super balanced, they have a really wide soundstage, and they just sound good. They just sound really fucking good. The problem with these guys is that I need to be sitting at my desk to use them. The reason for that is because there is a rating on headphones that you need to pay attention to if you're looking to buy a pair of them, and that rating is called their ohms. Extremely layman's terms, like even I don't fully understand exactly what this means. If you're familiar with electrical engineering, you know that ohms is electrical resistance. And that's basically what these guys are. They have built-in electrical resistance to reduce the noise that you'd hear from listening to high-end bits of audio. A common pair of earphones you'd get with your phone hovers around like the 38-40 ohm range. The Grados over there, they're rated for only 32 ohms. So those guys can basically run out of anything. These guys, however, these guys are 150 ohms. So what that means is that I need special equipment to use them properly. Now I could just plug these into my phone, but I wouldn't be hearing enough of the sound. So I plug these guys into my Scarlett 2i2. Because yes, these guys are cabled headphones, but the cable can just come undone, which is so useful. Oh, I love that feature. And they come with, the normal 3.5mm audio jack, thanks every single smartphone for getting rid of that feature. But they also come with this big guy to plug in here, and look at that, I can now plug this into my Focusrite 2i2. And the Focusrite is rated to run headphones, I believe, around the 200 ohm range. So hey, it can run these guys no problem. But what if I wanted to go further? Now, I just said that I needed to be sitting at my desk to use these headphones properly. Well, what if I told you that I just lied to you? This box back here, it's been ominously sitting in the background. This box contains this little guy. This is the Theo BTR5. So the thing inside your phone and inside my Focusrite that allows these headphones to actually work is called a DAC, a digital to analog converter. As the name suggests, a DAC takes the digital signal from your phone, your computer, your Switch, whatever, and converts that into an analog sound that headphones can actually output. But this guy can run headphones at 300 ohms. But here's the thing, it can run those 300 ohm headphones out of this little guy right here. Now that is not just a smaller plug, it's balanced audio. Now, I still don't quite know what balanced audio is, but what I do know is that they use some fancy techno audio magic to make your audio sound better. That's all I know about it, is it just makes it sound better. So I got this guy right here, a balanced audio cable, and you can see, like if I bring up this guy, this is the plug that came with my Sennheisers, and this is the cable that I bought on the aftermarket. Look at how small it is. Look at how fucking tiny it is. And this, oh man, dude, okay. If I'm listening to music at FLAC quality off of this cable and my BTR5 and this set of headphones, there's no words to describe it. It's its own fucking experience. It's something that I need to show people. There's no way in hell I'd be able to properly explain with words how any of this sounds. And this thing has got Bluetooth in it. So I can connect this to my phone to use these headphones wirelessly. That's cool, man. It's also got a USB-C port here on the bottom, so I can just plug this into my computer and use this for balanced audio mixing. Now, to be honest, I'm not really doing a whole lot of really sensitive audio work, so I don't really find the need to use this thing for audio work or audio balancing, so I just use the regular 3.5mm port on my Scarlett 2i2. That works just fine for me. But man, listening to music with this setup right here, it's night and fucking day. So, okay, you know what? I've gone too far into headphones and audio playback and audio balancing and all that fucking mumbo jumbo. So, let's talk about another microphone. Hey, more audio stuff. Woo! For a little bit, and still kind of now, I wanted to be the guy in the group of filmmakers that knew a lot about audio and have all the fancy microphones and the fancy headphones and have all the knowledge and everything you'd really want to do whatever you want audio-wise. And if you've watched my channel for long enough, you'll recognize this little guy. So this is the Movo HMM2. Now, this microphone, it's not great. It's not nearly as good as my MXL 990, but it works. And when I pair it with this little guy, the Tascam, what is that? The Tascam DR10X, I can make this microphone completely independent, and I can just carry this around with me to just record whatever I want. Because this guy does all the recording down here, and this guy does all the sound processing, you know? It's an independent microphone. And I've used this microphone primarily in my Is Special series, where I stood in front of a green screen and just kind of held a microphone out. I also used this in the Patreon video, obviously, because I couldn't bring my 990 out into a fucking field when I could just use this instead. Very nice microphone, very nice setup. It's not nearly as good as my MXL 990, but hey, it gets the job done and it's still pretty good for what it is. The only other thing that I have to talk about when it comes to making videos would be my camera, and it's a Logitech Brio 4K. Now, obviously, I can't take footage of it right now because I'm currently using it to film this video. And I don't really have an actual camera. When I was filming the Patreon video, I just kinda took my phone out, and I have a little phone mount for my tripod, and so I just put my phone on my tripod and filmed myself out in the field. And it worked, you know, the video quality looks totally fine. Cause look, I'll be honest, most of my videos are Let's Plays, so I don't really feel the need to use a camera like that. I mean, obviously I'm gonna need to get one later, but for now, I don't know, I really don't feel like I need to. So yeah, kind of a short one, kind of out there, kind of not really focused on really much of anything. Didn't really go too far into detail because I kind of couldn't in some areas, but you know, just what I basically use for most of my video making and all that, you know, fun stuff. Fuck. I'm awful at ending videos. Fuck. Thanks again for being a patron and, you know, paying for my independence. It really does mean a lot to me. If you have any other things you want me to go over in terms of my video making process and how I go over stuff, how I work on things, how I do whatever, let me know. Comment on this video on Patreon or on the actual YouTube video. Comment wherever, and I'll read them. And I'll keep that in mind for the next behind the scenes video that I do. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this wasn't too incoherent, and I hope you have a good one.